Assalamualaikum dear students. Miss Kiran Zara is here to teach you physics, and today we will discuss chapter number 8, that is thermal properties of matter, and we will discuss page number 188 to page number 186, and the topics that we will cover today is latent heat of vaporization and the process of evaporation and the difference between boiling and evaporation. We will also discuss evaporation causes cooling, what is the reason behind it, and the factors that influence the surface evaporation. And we will also describe the thermal expansion of solids, in which two types of expansions will be discussed. First one is linear and the second one is volumetric expansion. So we will start our first topic, that is latent heat of vaporization. So first of all, I would like to tell you, when heat is given to a liquid at its boiling point, its temperature remains constant, and the heat energy that is given to a liquid at its boiling point is used up in changing its state from liquid to gas without any increase in its temperature. So, latent heat of vaporization can be defined as the quantity of heat that changes unit mass of a liquid completely into gas at its boiling point without change in its temperature. So this is the condition: without change in its temperature is called latent heat of vaporization. And latent heat of vaporization is denoted by HV. V means vaporization, and the formula for latent heat of vaporization is HV is equals to delta QV over M. And if we want to find out how much heat is absorbed, how much heat energy is absorbed, so delta QV is equals to M times HV. And when water is heated, it boils at 100 degrees Celsius under the standard pressure. So its temperature remains 100 degrees Celsius until it is changed completely into steam. So its latent heat of vaporization is 2.26 10 raised to power 6 joules per kg. So it is very important that uh, all the liquids basically contains different boiling points. So latent heat of vaporization for each type of liquid is quite different from other liquids. Now we will move towards the topic, that is evaporation. So before moving towards the definition for evaporation, we will consider an example to understand the concept of evaporation. So if we will take some water in a dish, then water in the dish will disappear after some time. It is because the molecules of water are in constant motion and they possesses kinetic energy. So fast moving electrons will escape out from the surface of water and goes into the atmosphere. So this is called evaporation. So evaporation is just the changing of liquid into vapor, that is gaseous state, from the surface of liquid without heating it. So this, you can see from the diagram that molecules are escaping out from the surface of liquid without providing any kind of external heat. Now we are going to discuss what are the differences between boiling and evaporation. So I am going to explain you the two differences between boiling and evaporation. The first difference is boiling always takes place at a certain fixed temperature, which is the boiling point of that liquid, while evaporation can take place at all temperatures, but only from the surface of liquid. And the second difference between boiling and evaporation is, at the boiling point, liquid is changing into vapor not only from the surface but also from the entire volume of the liquid. While in case of evaporation, liquid will change into vapors only from the surface of liquid but not from the entire volume of the liquid. Now we will discuss about evaporation causes cooling. What is the reason behind it? We are going to discuss. So during evaporation, fast moving molecules will escape out from the surface of liquid, and the molecules that have lower kinetic energies are left behind in the container. So this lowers the average kinetic energy of the liquid molecules and the temperature of the liquid, since the temperature of the substance depends on average kinetic energy of its molecules. So evaporation of precipitation helps to cool our bodies. So temperature directly depends on kinetic energy. As kinetic energy will lower, so temperature will also decrease. Now we will move towards uses of cooling effect by evaporation. So the first use is water remains cold in pitchers, wet clothes easily dry, and cooling is produced in refrigerators by evaporation of liquefied gas. Now we are going to discuss the factors that affect on the rate of evaporation. So evaporation takes place at all temperatures from the surface of liquid. So the rate of evaporation is affected by various factors. First factor is temperature. So if I will ask a question, why wet clothes dry up more quickly in summer than in winters? So the answer for this question may be the at higher temperature, more molecules of the liquid are moving with high velocities. So more molecules escape from its surface. Thus evaporation is faster at higher temperature than at lower temperatures. So rate of evaporation directly depends on the temperature. The second factor that I am going to discuss is surface area. So larger is the surface area of a liquid, greater number of molecules has the chance to escape from its surface. So larger the surface area, larger will be the rate of evaporation. While smaller will be the surface area of a liquid, then uh, rate of evaporation will also decrease. Now come towards the next factor, that is wind. So wind blowing over the surface of a liquid sweeps away the liquid molecules that have just escaped out. So this increases the chance for more liquid molecules to escape out. And the last factor that I'm going to tell is nature of liquid. So liquid differ in the rate at which they evaporate. So if you will spread few drops of water and few drops of petrol in your palm, then you feel that their petrol will evaporate more quickly as compared to water. Now come towards the next topic, that is thermal expansion. So most of the substances like solid, liquids and gases expand on heating and contract on cooling. So their thermal expansions and contractions are usually small and are not noticeable. So these expansions and contractions are very important in our daily life. So thermal expansion not only result in increase in length, breadth as well as the thickness of a substance. So thermal expansion can be of two types. First one is the linear thermal expansions in solids, while the second thermal expansion in solid is volume thermal expansion that will be discussed after this topic. So first of all, we will discuss the linear thermal expansions. So it has been observed that solids expands on heating and their expansion is nearly uniform over the wide range of temperatures. So we will consider a metal rod that is to be heated, and then we will observe that there is a prominent increase in its length as compared to its area of cross section. So the expansion along the length is called linear expansion, and the increase in length depends on different types of factors, in which the first one is the length of thin rod and the change in temperature, and the last one is the nature of material of rod. Now we will derive the equation for linear thermal expansion. In order to derive this equation, we have to consider a metal rod of length L naught at certain temperature, that is T naught, and its length on heating to a temperature T becomes L. Thus, we can say that increase in length of the rod delta L is equals to new length minus original length, that is L minus L naught. And increase in temperature can easily be calculated as delta T is equals to T minus T naught, that is new temperature minus original temperature. Now we will see what is the statement for linear thermal expansion. So it can be found that the change in length of a solid is directly proportional to its original length and the change in temperature. So you can see in the first line of derivation, delta L is directly proportional to L naught, that is original length, and delta T, that is change in temperature. And in the second step, you can see that the sign of proportionality is replaced with the sign of equality, and there is a constant value, that is alpha. So alpha is known as the coefficient of linear thermal expansion of the given substance. And if in the third step, if I will put the value of delta L that we have calculated earlier, that is new length minus original length, so it will be equals to alpha times L naught times delta T. And if we will move the original length from the left hand side to the right hand side, in the last step you can see that we will take L naught as common, then L will be equals to L naught times 1 plus alpha delta T. Now what is coefficient of thermal expansion? So we can define the coefficient of linear expansion of a substance as the fractional increase in its length per Kelvin rise in temperature. Now we are going to solve an example that is related to linear thermal expansion. Statement of this example is a brass rod is 1 meter long at 0 degrees Celsius. Find its length at 30 degrees Celsius, and the coefficient of linear expansion, that is alpha, is given 1.9 10 raised to power minus 5 per Kelvin. So first of all, I would like to tell you what is given in this statement. So original length is given, that is 1 meter, and original temperature is given, that is 0 degrees Celsius, and the new temperature is given, that is 30 degrees Celsius, and the coefficient of linear expansion alpha is given, whose value is 1.9 10 raised to power minus 5. So first of all, we will convert these temperatures into the standard or system international unit of temperature, that is Kelvin. Then after that we will find out the change in temperature. Then we have to use the new length formula that we have derived earlier in the previous slides. So just we will place the value of original length alpha and delta T Then after doing some simplification, we will get the answer for the new length, that is 1.00057 meters. Now we are going to discuss the volume thermal expansion. So dear students, volume thermal expansion is quite related to linear expansion, but in volume expansion, the three-dimensional increase is there, that is length, breadth and height. So if the volume of a solid changes with the change in temperature, so it is known as volume thermal expansion or cubical thermal expansion. So in order to derive the mathematical equation, we have to consider a solid of initial volume, that is V naught, at the certain temperature T naught. And on heating the solid to a temperature on T temperature, its volume will become V, that is the new volume. Then we will find out the change in volume of a solid, that is delta V, and it will be equals to new volume minus original volume, that is V minus V naught. And the change in temperature is delta T, that is equals to T minus T naught. So like linear expansion, if we will discuss, then change in volume is also directly proportional to its original volume and the change in temperature. So you can see in the first step of the derivation is delta V is directly proportional to original volume and change in temperature. Now come towards second step, in which you can see that the sign of proportionality is replaced with sign of equality by placing a constant value, that is beta. So beta is known as the volume thermal expansion coefficient. So if we will put the value of delta V in the relation, then it will becomes V minus V naught is equals to beta times V naught delta T. And again, in the last step, you can see that if we will move V naught from left hand side towards the right hand side and then taking as common the relation, final relation to find out the new volume will becomes V is equals to V naught times 1 plus beta delta T. So beta is the temperature coefficient of the volume expansion. And how we can define beta? So the temperature coefficient of volume expansion can be defined as the fractional change in its volume per Kelvin change in temperature. So beta will be equals to change in volume divided by original volume times delta T. And you should keep in your mind that beta will be equals to 3 times of alpha, that is the coefficient of linear expansion, because in case of volume 3 lengths are there, so beta will be equals to 3 times alpha. Now come towards the last example that we are going to discuss is example 8.7, in which you can see that we have to find the volume of a brass cube at 100 degrees Celsius whose side is 10 centimeter at 0 degrees Celsius, and the coefficient of linear thermal expansion of brass is given, whose value is 1.9 multiplied 10 raised to power minus 5 per Kelvin. So you can see that the length, that is the original length of the cube, is given, that is 10 centimeter. So firstly we will convert centimeters into meters, because the SI unit for length is meter. And the original temperature is given, that is 0 degrees Celsius, and the final temperature or the new temperature is given, that is 100 degrees Celsius. So first of all, we will convert these temperatures into kelvins, and then we will find out the change in temperature. Then after that, we have to find out beta, because we are going to find out the new volume. So beta will be equals to 3 times of alpha, as the value of alpha is given. So we will be able to easily find out the value of beta. Then after that we will find out the original volume by taking the length cube, original length cube. Then we will be able to find out the original volume. Then after that we will use the formula for new volume, that is V is equals to V naught times 1 plus beta delta T, and then simply we will put all the values of original volume, beta and delta T. Then after doing some calculations, we will be able to find out the final answer for original volume. So you can see that after taking the original length cube, we will be able to find out the original volume. Then after that we will use simply the formula for new volume, and then we will be able to find out new volume. And then after that, these are the topics that we have to cover today. I'm going to announce that your spelling test for chapter number 8 will be conducted on 17th of December, and after that I'm going to assign you the homework in which you have to do question number 8.1 of part number 4, 5 and 8 that are given on page number 191, and you have to complete this homework and you have to submit this homework on 17th of December. Thank you so much for watching my video.